I think we need to move away from that impression that going into business, being a CEO, means that you have to be at your desk at 7 a.m. and you don't get home until past 8 p.m. and you don't see your kids and you're never there for the parents' evenings or the school sports days, because I think that's one of the things that really does put people off.
Why do you think we still have so few female CEOs, especially in the health and fitness space? Is that something you think there's a good reason for? How would you like to see the industry change and evolve to allow more women to get to the top? I'm really interested in your take, given your unique position.
Yes, it's something that I think is improving, and a lot of the events that I go to, I'm seeing more female faces. So I think it's something that time will correct. It's certainly back even now. I think the having children issue was a major factor for a lot of females in science, particularly. I remember years ago when I was a PhD student and bringing this factor up at a particular conference. The uncertainty of the way that academia works with regard to the funding and securing funding in sort of tranches for periods of time. Ironically, given that I started running my own business several years later, that was very off-putting for me, which I think means that a lot of females do move out of academia and for what you might call more reliable jobs. Whereas for men, it's perhaps less of an issue because they're not thinking ahead. They're not thinking about that career break and what that will create in terms of having children and the inevitable time out through pregnancy. And, you know, even if you go back into work very early on, it's, as you know, Joe, having young kids is hugely difficult, juggling. You've got all these sorts of ideals of what you're going to do when you have all that time on your hands with a baby, and it's ridiculous. It's just so busy, just managing with the little ones. So and again, like me, the evenings, I can no longer work in the evenings, which are one of my best times to work. I'm doing the bath time and the bedtime and the story time and everything else. So I think we've given a sort of, I guess the typical CEO impression that people get is of that sort of Steve Jobs type, Elon Musk type character. Just, you know, the sleep few hours, working all the time, not having much of a life outside their work. And I think, again, women tend to be a little bit more, we like our, we like having a more rounded existence, perhaps in some ways, and having family as part of it, and having our personal life and our friends and our activities and our sports, and this applies to many men as well, I think. And I think we need to move away from that impression that going into business, being a CEO, means that you have to be at your desk at 7 a.m. and you don't get home until past 8 p.m. and you don't see your kids and you're never there for the parents' evenings or the school sports days, because I think that's one of the things that really does put people off. And the great thing, and the great thing I've found about working for myself within a business is it's hugely flexible. I can take time off. I can work in the evenings. I can go back to my desk at 9 p.m. and get a couple of hours work done because I finished at 3 o'clock to pick the kids up or to go to a parents' evening or to do something else. So actually the reality of it is it's a great role to be in certainly my space. I can go to the gym in the afternoon. I can still fit in my exercise, again, because I've got that opportunity to catch up later on in the day. In my case, some people might prefer to start earlier in the mornings. So I think it's a perception thing, but I think it's something that's changing as we see more and more female role models out there, and being honest and saying, you know, it's not, here I am, I got to my desk this morning at 9:15 because I got up, got the kids ready, fed them, and took them off to school. So I didn't start work until 9:15 this morning. And I think that's what people need to hear. You can mix a personal life with, a career in a senior role.